It's the start of a new week, and it's not just any week. It's the World Cup knockout week. We're finally here. It's been a big build-up. A lot has happened over the last month and a half, and we finally here. Two big semi-finals: India, New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, and we'll be covering all of that on this week's 360 show. Stay tuned.
We're watching a very high-class player. This is when you know a bit of it is at his best.
It's knockout time, and let's have a quick look at the points table. Top of the list, India, winning all 9 games. Very dominant. There were no surprises there for me. We all knew they were favourites. They looked the hottest team on the team sheets, and they did not disappoint any of us. South Africa, close second there. Australia third, New Zealand fourth. And there's your semi-finalists, your knockout teams. And they certainly have been playing knockout cricket throughout this World Cup. There will be 2 huge semi-finals, and we'll be covering more of that in due course. Just hang tight with that one. Let's quickly talk about number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pakistan, a close 5 there, losing out on the knockout stages. But with Afghanistan, England, and Bangladesh, those 8 teams will have qualified for the Champions Trophy 2025. That will be happening in Pakistan. So that's very exciting. We have not had a big tournament in Pakistan for many years. I think all the people from Pakistan will be very excited about that. I'm very happy for them. They have been through a tough patch, and finally they get the nod for a huge ICC event, and that'll be the Champions Trophy 2025. Sri Lanka and Netherlands ending bottom of the log 9 and 10, but the Netherlands in particular will be taking a bit of pride away from this World Cup, a lot of confidence as well, and they can keep their heads up high. They've won 2 big games in this tournament, and I'm pretty sure they'll be happy about that. It's not easy with this format for a minor team like the Netherlands to make the knockout stages, because you play against every single other team. It's 9 ODIs that were played in this World Cup, and I would say the top 4, and looking at the points table, it's a very true reflection of what happened in this year's World Cup. And then a quick look at the top wicket takers. Adam Zampa, right on top of the list, and we'll be seeing more of him in this World Cup. Dilshan Madhushankar in second there, but they've been knocked out. And then Gerald Coetzee in a third place there with 18 wickets in this World Cup. He's been a bit expensive, I must say, as a South African supporter, but picking up 18 wickets, he's certainly been really good for the Proteas. And then a quick look at the top run scorers for this tournament. Virat Kohli right on top of the list. I think way earlier on, just before the World Cup, I was talking about my favourites to be there. I'd named Shubman Gill, I think, as my top run scorer, and Virat was also in the top 3 list. So I wasn't too far out, and I'm not surprised with Virat there at the top of the list, playing some of the best cricket of his life, and also, funny enough, picking up wickets. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Quinton de Kock there in second place. We'll see more of him. Also, Rachin Ravindra has been outstanding in this year's World Cup. Certainly the big surprise of this year's World Cup. And a quick, I heard a little bird sing something about RCB. So let's see what happens there. Hopefully that is all true and not just a rumor. Rachin Ravindra might just be joining RCB, or we'll at least see him in the IPL, I think. Rohit Sharma then in fourth place, David Warner. These are all players we'll be seeing in the knockout stages. So it's very exciting. Talking about the knockouts, Wednesday, 15 November, India against New Zealand at the Wankhede Stadium. And then Thursday, 16 November, South Africa and Australia. That's being played at Kolkata, and I have covered it before. I think it suits South Africa a little bit better. I'm holding thumbs because, guys, this is a repeat. And there's a quick tweet. Abhishek Mukherjee picked it up. It's a repeat of the 2015 knockout teams. It's not the same semi-finals, but if you remember correctly, in the 2015 World Cup, South Africa were knocked out by New Zealand, and India were knocked out by Australia. So it was Australia-New Zealand final. And this time around, it's a bit different. India, New Zealand, South Africa, Australia. But it's never happened before in a Cricket World Cup. It's the first time ever that you have the same 4 teams. And it's a repeat. Quite interesting. All right, then moving on. Virat Kohli gets a World Cup wicket. I'm very jealous, but not too much, because I got more wickets than you, Virat, if you're watching. I also bowled in the Cricket World Cup, believe it or not. But here's a tweet from Ben Gardner. Virat Kohli has the best batting average and the second best bowling average among all players at the 2023 World Cup. That is incredible. Well done, Virat. And Virat, there's another tweet. MS Foot Crick, Virat and Rohit has taken 1 wicket each at this year's Cricket World Cup. Incredible. Let's have a look at Virat's wicket. I don't think it's one that he'll particularly remember. It's not top of off wickets out of the ground, or out of the ground, tumbling all over the place. It's not a nick off, but rather a down leg, little sneaky one. Very good keeping behind the stumps from KL Rahul. Let's have a look at the clip.
Attack is so threatening, you don't want to get out to him, but you do, just like that.
He gets a wicket. Well, the crowd loves it. Virat Kohli's got a wicket.
And there's Virat Kohli picking up a World Cup wicket along with Rohit Sharma. Both of them have not bowled for a very long time, and there they are rolling the arm over. Who knows? We might see one or both of them in that semi-finals, maybe even the final. If New Zealand lose to India, we'll see more of India, obviously, in that final. Talking about winning streaks quickly, India have won all 9 of their games in this year's World Cup, which is quite remarkable. Considering you're playing against different opposition every single game. There's flights in between, you're playing different grounds. And it's New Zealand, Australia, then it's South Africa, then it's the Netherlands, then Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. The list goes on. It's quite remarkable to win every single match in a Cricket World Cup. And on that note, let me quickly read out a stat to you of the dominant Australia team from back in the day. You remember in 1999, South Africa tied a match with Australia. After that, they won 27 World Cup matches in a row, only losing in 2011 again against Pakistan. Now that's dominant, to say the least. 27 World Cup matches in a row. So India have won 9 now, which is remarkable, and I think it's outstanding. But it's just a quick reminder of how dominant that Australian team of the past, well, in that late 90s, early 2000s, how dominant they were. Quite remarkable. There's also another team, and that's the West Indies, that showed the similar kind of dominance around the, I think, late 70s, 80s, somewhere along those lines. They were very, very dominant as well, winning 2 World Cups and winning quite a lot of games in a row, but certainly not 27, that's for sure. So it's India and New Zealand at the Wankhede Stadium on the 15th of November. That's right, it's a big semi-finals. We're all ready for it. I know you're ready for it. I'm ready for it, and I absolutely cannot wait. I will be very wary of Team New Zealand if I was India, in the Indian team. These guys just know how to come together when it matters most. So yes, India certainly the dominant team in this Cricket World Cup, winning 9 in a row. New Zealand, leading up to this match, only beat Sri Lanka. Before that, they lost to Pakistan, South Africa, Australia, and India, only winning 1 out of the last 5 ODIs, where India obviously won all of them leading into this game. But be aware of Team New Zealand. That's all I would be saying. Very good fielding unit. They're a smart cricket team. We've always spoken about them as being a street smart cricket side, and they know just how to work their way around big games. Certainly, there's no doubt about the fact that India will be favourites, and I will be rooting for them. You guys know it's my second team after South Africa. But yeah, playing at the Wankhede Stadium, they will be feeling at home. There will be huge support for Team India, and I can't see them losing, but just be aware. Team New Zealand, they're a sneaky team, and they just know how to play big moments really well. So, very important stat as well. New Zealand have not played a game at the Wankhede Stadium in this entire World Cup yet, which is quite interesting. They might feel a little bit off balance in a way. At the end of the day, these guys are professional sportsmen. Most of them play in the IPL. They have played at the Wankhede before. But in this tournament, last game India played at the Wankhede Stadium, I actually drove past the ground in the evening, and I looked on Cricket Info and I saw Sri Lanka were, I think, 40 for 8 or something. And I realized there's no need for me to turn left there and to go have a look at the Wankhede Stadium, because that match is done. India scored 357 and bowled Sri Lanka out for 55. They'll be feeling very confident. But I know Virat and the boys, Rohit and them, they know all of these New Zealanders. And they will be having really good team meetings about not taking them lightly. It's a semi-finals of the World Cup, and New Zealand always hunt like a pack of wolves. Watch out. Then a quick word on Rachin Ravindra. I don't think we've spoken about him enough. He's been the big surprise of this year's Cricket World Cup. Incredible left-hander, very stylish, very classy, but very aggressive in the same breath. And that's why I touched on it before. There might be a chance of seeing him at Team RCB. Just heard someone say that somewhere in the last week. Let's see if that comes true. I'm pretty sure we'll see him at the IPL this year. and it's outstanding. There's his scores: 42, 108, 9, 116, 75, 32, 9, 51, 123, 200, 300s at a Cricket World Cup. And that's outstanding stat. Guys, it's India, New Zealand. I don't know who's going to win. I'm backing India to go all the way. But I did say just be careful. Team New Zealand is dangerous. All right, and then the second semi-finals, it's the big one, South Africa and Australia. I've been a part of a few of them in the past, losing to Australia in the 2007 World Cup in the semi-finals, which was not very enjoyable, that's for sure. But we have a long list of bad luck against these guys. Not just bad luck, just bad losses. I think I'll take responsibility for that, and you don't make up excuses, right? So take it on the chin. We've had some bad games in the past against Australia. We've had our chances to beat them many a time, and we've slipped up. We get another chance at Kolkata, the Eden Gardens, the historical ground. Is this the time for South Africa to turn things around, to turn the tide against Australia? I believe so. I think we have the upper hand on a slow turning wicket. I'm afraid to say, and I hate saying this, but I do think it's an important toss to win. It's not a guarantee you win the toss, you win the game. But looking at the past games, there's certainly a bit of an advantage winning the toss. They're batting first, making sure you get a reasonable total, and then just defending with everything you have, playing your spinners at the right time, bowling them at the right time, and just squeezing with that inner ring. A lot of dot balls at this ground, and I'm pretty sure whoever wins the toss here will be batting first. This game is happening on the 16th of November, and it's a big one. Expectations rise as South Africa exceed expectations, and the coach, Rob Walter, have told the guys to enjoy the experience, enjoy being in a semi-final. Absolutely spot on, but much easier said than done. Believe me, I've been there. And then Labuschagne and Stoinis, who's going to play? People seem to think there's not a place for both of them in the team. They are two very different cricketers, and it's hard to see how they can both play against South Africa. So very difficult to say there, because Stoinis offers you something with the ball. Labuschagne can bowl leggies. I'm not sure. It is a turning track, so maybe he's the guy to go for. Let's see what Australia get up to. But form leading into the semi-finals. South Africa have won 4 out of 5 leading into the semi-finals. Australia have won 5 in a row, peaking once again at the right time at another Cricket World Cup. I can't say who's going to win. It's very tight. South Africa have had the upper hand in the last 4 ODIs they've played. South Africa have won all 4. Can you believe that? When last have we been able to say that? South Africa winning 4 one-day internationals against Australia, 1 in the World Cup and 3 leading up to the World Cup. And now they're playing against them in the semi-finals. Let's hope we maintain that form. Temba Bavuma, he's got a hamstring niggle. It's concerned for the semi-final, but he says he's been quoted, "I'll have to be fine. I'll just have to be fine," says the captain after fielding and batting in discomfort during the final league match. Let's hope our captain will be ready for this match. He's a good leader, and we need him there to lead from the front in the semi-finals at Kolkata. And let's hope he tosses well before the game. All right, let's move on to AB Reacts. I love this. Meg Lanning, incredible cricket player. I've followed her career for many years now. I've always been in awe of her achievements, of the way she handles herself on and off the field, but just complete control when she's batting, right? I've always been incredibly impressed by the way she just dominates bowling attacks, and the way she could change gears up and down. I'm one of those, and I can tell you it's certainly no easy feat. You got to have a lot of attributes. Number one is intensity, so an ability to identify moments in the game where you can attack and up that strike rate. But in the same breath, you must have this huge desire to finish cricket games for your team, and that's where the not outs come in. That's where you get the 130 not out, and that pushes the average up again, which gives you that sense of consistency. You want to be a consistent performer in the team. You want to be the guy the team can rely on. You want to be the guy the nation can rely on. So it's a combination of those two things. It's a skill to identify weakness in bowling attacks and knowing when to dominate and when to absorb the pressure, when to hand it out and when to absorb it. And that's how you pace it through the innings. You can't just go guns blazing, because your consistency won't be good. Your average will probably be 35 or 40, where your strike rate will be over 100. But to have both of them there, you need to have an eye for weakness in a bowling attack, also strength in the bowling attack, and understanding when to go and when not to go. Different gears throughout the innings. When I spoke about Meg Lanning earlier, I did touch on that. She had this incredible ability of changing gears, and so does Virat, and that was one of my strengths too. So yeah, just in a nutshell, Meg Lanning, Virat Kohli, incredible players. Meg, we're all very proud of her. She's been incredible throughout the years. She's been a rock for Australia, and there's no doubt she won't be forgotten. And to finish off with Meg Lanning, there's a tweet from ESPN Crick Info. Look at all those trophies: 2013 and 2022 ODI World Cups, 5 T20 World Cups, 3 Ashes, and finally that Commonwealth Games 2022 medal. There's just no one like Meg Lanning. GOAT, that's for sure. Greatest of all time. Well done, Meg Lanning. Fantastic career. Moving on to the next clip then. It's got to do with England cricket. Yes, obviously a very disappointing World Cup, and someone needed to take the hit. And Rob Key came out and he says here that he's got the Matthew Mott's got the full backing of Rob Key to continue as the white ball coach. Then England's managing director says Matthew Mott will be given an opportunity to try and turn things around ahead of next year's T20 World Cup. And then at the bottom, very interesting, another quote from Rob Key. It's very hard for me to be critical of Josh Butler and Matthew Mott when I'm the one who, every single time the decision has been made for whether or not we focus on 50-over cricket, Test cricket or T20, I've always chosen Test cricket, Robert Key said. So very nice of him, very noble, taking the heat of the team. But that sounds like a little bit of an excuse. We've been focusing on T20 cricket and Test cricket. So we just decided we're not going to focus on a Cricket World Cup. I'm sorry, I just don't buy that. Anyway, that's cricket. England, they are going to the West Indies and they've made a lot of changes. You can see the ODI squad there. Josh Butler is still captain, but a lot of changes, a lot of new names, and England cricket going through a bit of a transitional phase. Moving on then to Sri Lanka cricket. They have been suspended by the International Cricket Council over government interference. Let me tell you, I have a little bit of experience with this. It is not nice. It confuses the players. You need clarity and consistency from the top in order to feel safe, to feel secure as a player, to feel like you can just deliver and leave everything out there on the pitch for your country. The minute there's interference from all kinds of angles from the top, you start losing the heart, and it's difficult to just leave your heart out there for the team on the pitch, because that's the way I've always played my cricket, and I know exactly what these Sri Lanka guys are going through. And Captain Kusal Mendes pleading with ICC to lift the suspension. They just want to play, people. As a professional cricket player, you grow up as a youngster and you become this professional player, and you are just living your dream. All you want to do is win cricket games for your country. It's been a lifelong dream. And then all of a sudden, while you're playing, you start realizing, hold on, there's some different forces here from all kinds of sides and angles. And it changes things. And it's not ideal. It's not nice. And I wish Sri Lanka cricket all the very best moving forward. I really hope they can clear it up and get back on that pitch. And hopefully the ICC find light with Sri Lanka cricket and try and get the government interference out of cricket. Yeah, maybe we can start a hashtag, no government interference. Please. It's not nice. Moving on to last week's 360 quiz then. It was quite an interesting one. It was a tricky one. Some of you got it right. Congratulations. You will be receiving your reward or your prize, and that'll be a signed 360 mini cricket bat from me. Who was the first cricketer to score a double century in ODI cricket? We left it nice and vague, open for you guys, because it was a bit of a tricky question. It was Belinda Clark in 1997, scoring 229 of 155 balls. Well done for those of you who got it right, and congratulations to the winner. And then this week's 360 quiz. It's a nice one. Which World Cup has so far seen the most 5-wicket hauls? Think about it, guys. It's quite an easy answer, to be honest. It's no surprise to me. But thinking about all the grounds around the world, West Indies, Sri Lanka, England, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, where would you get the most 5-wicket hauls? Where is it the hardest to bat? The toughest country in the world to bat? And this year's World Cup, there's only been 6 5-wicket hauls. In that year, There were 12 5-wicket hauls in the entire World Cup. So where was it hosted? And I hope you guys get it right. All the very best. That's the end of this week's 360 show. It's knockout stages, guys. Hold on tight. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a belter of a finish to this year's World Cup. 2023. Who's going to lift that trophy? I bet you guys are saying India. I'm thinking South Africa. There will be some Australians out there, New Zealanders. All the very best to all the teams competing in this year's World Cup. And thank you very much for watching the 360 show. And please catch me live on Friday with the 360 Live. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and let's have some fun together on Friday. See you soon.